Okay, so you're ready to share your love of boating, right? Like really share it.
Yeah.
Not just captain a vessel, but teach others how to navigate.
Take the helm.
Become a vessel steering instructor.
Yeah.
That's a rewarding path. But like any voyage, you got to start with a solid plan.
Absolutely. Charts, compass.
Exactly. And that's where this deep dive comes in.
Love it.
So today we're tackling how to ace that vessel steering instructor interview. We've got some common questions they'll ask, insights from RoleCatcher's career guides, and we'll even see how their AI can help you on this journey.
I'm excited. Instructor roles are interesting because they're not just looking for someone who can, handle a boat.
Right.
You're building confidence out there on the water. Nailing the interview is about showing that broader understanding.
It's like, you're the captain of teaching, you know?
I like that.
The captain of instruction. But anyway, they always start with this one. How did you become interested in vessel steering instruction?
Seems simple, but
Right.
it's more than, I love boats. They want to know what sparked that passion. Was it a mentor, a crazy day at sea, or just this deep-seated need to share the love?
So don't just say, I've always loved boats. Tell a story.
Exactly.
My passion for teaching goes back to volunteering at the summer camp. Teaching kids how to sail, seeing them grasp it, the excitement, that's when I knew.
Now that's good. You took a simple question, and bam, passion and experience.
And that's what RoleCatcher's AI does. You type in your answer, and it's like, hey, how well does this really match what they're looking for?
Your first mate in interview prep.
Totally. Okay, next question is usually about experience. What experience do you have working with different types of vessels? Sounds straightforward enough.
It is, but it's about your versatility. Sailboats, powerboats, catamarans. Have you handled them all?
They're not just looking for a list of names.
Nope. It ties into the career guide, too. Hands-on experience is key. Working as crew, joining clubs, it's not just resume padding. It's understanding the whole world out there.
So instead of just, I've captained a sailboat,
Which is great, don't get me wrong.
it's more like, during my time chartering yachts, I've handled everything from single-engine cruisers to cats. Learning each vessel's nuances made me a more adaptable sailor.
Now you're connecting it. And if you can tie those experiences to teaching, even better.
Like, each vessel handles differently, so I've learned to adjust my teaching style to those unique characteristics.
There you go. It's not what you know, it's how you communicate it.
Always. Okay, what about this one? What experience do you have teaching vessel steering? Uh-oh, what if you're fresh out of maritime school?
See, this is where people get tripped up. But teaching takes many forms.
True.
Trained a new crew member, mentored a friend, learning to sail, those count.
The career guide talks about that too.
It does. Even being crew has teaching moments.
You're always learning and sharing in those situations.
So you could say, while I haven't held a formal instructor title, I've mentored new crew members on tons of sailing and safety aspects.
There you go. Skills, proactive.
Showing them, not just telling them.
Exactly. Let's move on to a big one. How do you ensure your students are safe during vessel steering lessons?
This is huge. They don't want to hear just safety first. They want to see that you live and breathe it. You've got protocols.
Right. It's paramount, as they say.
The career guide really digs into this. It's about knowing the regulations so well. They're second nature.
It's like, before we even leave the dock, we're doing a full safety briefing. Life jackets, emergency procedures, you name it. Plus, all equipment's on board, operational, accessible.
Love it. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI is clutch. You could type that in and it might suggest adding, oh, and I always check weather conditions or something about local maritime regulations.
Your digital co-captain.
There you go. Okay, so on to a question about your teaching style. How do you tailor your approach to different types of learners? This is where you get to show them what you're made of.
Because not everyone learns the same way, right?
Exactly. Some are visual, some gotta get hands-on, some need both.
Like teaching someone to tie a knot. Some watch. Some need the rope in their hands.
Boom. And RoleCatcher's AI is crazy good for this. You know how it analyzes job descriptions?
Yeah.
It can pick up on what kind of learning they emphasize. So if they're all about hands-on.
You highlight that in your answer. It's like a cheat sheet. Amazing.
Right. So you could be like, I use visuals, exercises, discussions, whatever it takes to make sure everyone's clicking.
Clicking. I like that. Showing you get it.
Now let's get real for a sec. Imagine a student struggling to dock. How would you help them? Docking gets everyone at first.
Oh, for sure. I can see why they asked that. It's key.
You gotta break it down. Remember that aha moment when you finally got it? That's what you're aiming for as an instructor.
Instead of just info overload, it's like, okay, first we'll break docking into steps. One thing at a time. Let's practice approaching the dock at different angles, then we'll work on using the engine and rudder together.
Perfect. And don't forget visuals. You could say, I might even use a model boat and a mock dock to show how wind and current come into play.
Oh, smart. Okay, next question is kind of getting at those soft skills, What are the most important qualities of a successful vessel steering instructor?
Love it. This is beyond the technical stuff. Think back to the best teachers you've ever had. What made them special?
They were passionate, patient, explained things clearly, and maybe a good sense of humor helped when things went wrong.
Exactly. Bring those qualities to life with a story. Like, for me, it's patience, clear communication, and a true passion for sharing this love of the water. I want my students to feel safe asking questions and, yeah, making mistakes.
That safe space is huge, especially as a beginner. Steering a vessel can be intimidating.
And speaking of a positive environment, next question's all about inclusivity. How do you create that for all students?
Boating should be for everyone, no doubt.
The career guide's big on this too. It's got to be welcoming, respectful, no matter your background, how much you know.
So a good answer might be something like, I want my classroom to be a place where everyone can speak their mind and feel respected. It doesn't matter what your background is or how you learn best. I want everyone to feel comfortable participating.
Love that. And real-life examples are gold here. Ever adapted for a student with a disability, worked with folks from different cultures.
Shows you've lived it.
Okay, ready for a curveball. Describe a time you had to stay calm under pressure while instructing.
Because the water doesn't care about your lesson plan. They want to know you can handle anything.
Exactly. And this is where your experience as a boater shines through. A sudden storm, engine trouble, close call. We've all been there.
But don't just tell it. Relate it back. How'd you handle it? What'd you learn? What kind of instructor did it make you?
Right. One time, a squall came out of nowhere during a lesson. Wind, visibility gone, and my student panicked. But I stayed calm, took control, talked him through it to safety. That's when I knew. Clear communication, staying calm, it's everything when someone's in your care.
Powerful stuff. Shows you've been tested and came out on top.
And it leads perfectly into this next one. How would you address a gap in your knowledge or skills as an instructor?
So it's not about knowing everything. It's about being willing to learn.
The maritime world never sits still. Tech changes, regs change. A good instructor's a lifelong student.
So you could say, I'm always trying to up my game. If I don't know something, I'll hit the books, online forums, talk to the pros, and those workshops and seminars, I'm there.
Nailed it. You're curious, resourceful, dedicated to your students. Now let's talk about a resource that can help you. RoleCatcher.
They have this AI video practice thing, right?
Oh yeah, the video practice is amazing.
For interviews.
It's like having a coach in your pocket.
Because you can record yourself answering these questions.
You record yourself, and then it analyzes everything.
It gives you feedback on,
It's wild. It's like your tone, your body language, how clearly you're getting your point across.
So it's not even just about the words.
It's everything. It's the whole package.
It's like, are you coming across as confident? Are you coming across as...
engaging? Are you likable?
Because that matters.
Huge. And it tailors the feedback to the job. So it might be like, hey, ease up on the jargon or pump up the enthusiasm on safety. Little things.
Which, they add up.
They're huge.
Yeah, it's the fine-tuning.
It's the polish.
It's giving you the edge, basically.
Absolutely. And remember, interviews are a two-way street.
Oh, good point.
You're figuring out if they're right for you, too.
Right.
So come with questions.
Show them you've done your homework.
Engaged. Curious.
RoleCatcher even has a section on the good questions to ask.
They've thought of everything.
Seriously. Okay, but let's not get too sidetracked. We want you to ace this interview.
Vessel Steering Instructor, here we come.
So, big picture. What are our must-dos?
Prep. Don't wait till the last minute to think about this stuff. RoleCatcher's career guides. Dive in, know what they're after.
And don't just spit out facts. Bring your passion, tell stories.
Connect with them, let them feel it.
Why you love this, why you're good at it.
Show them you're not just qualified on paper, you're psyched to be out there teaching.
Okay, as we wrap up.
Think back to a time you taught someone something new. Anything.
Doesn't have to be fancy.
Could be tying a knot. What made it click? What did you learn about yourself as a teacher?
Because that stuff, the patience, explaining clearly, adapting.
Well, it makes a great vessel steering instructor.
You've got this, and RoleCatcher's got your back.
Happy sailing.
See you out on the water.